Dee Snider is never afraid to delve into hot button issues. So we're getting into several of those tonight. I feel like I'm bringing your Twitter feed to life this evening. The legendary musician is our guest on Loudwire Nights. So we're going to take a little bit of the past, a lot of 2020, and put it in this blender of an interview. But before we do, Dee, are you still in Belize? How is the weather? How is Belize, actually? I've never been there.
Belize, I was there for 4 months. Straight, COVID-free country, but not for lack of effort. I mean, mandatory masks, $5,000 fine, first offense, prison, second offense. So they went hardcore, kept their count to 20 cases and 2 deaths. And so it was nice, but I am now back in the fire. As of Friday, I'm in Los Angeles.
Ooh.
So I went from paradise to hell in a couple hours. But yeah, so now I'm in LA.
Well, welcome to hell. I'm in Florida, so not too far behind you.
Oh yeah, I think you know. I think you're worse.
It might be
I
worse.
think you're worse because Florida's sitting there doing all their crazy, like we're not wearing masks and we're not wearing. I lived in Florida for a while. I know you don't talk with Southern accents.
Yeah,
we're not wearing masks and we're not going to social distance. We're going to school. Yeah.
Florida. Gotta love it. For the record, I do wear a mask. All right. So we're going to go back.
Good for you.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to go back a couple years initially for this question. You recorded an acoustic version of Twisted Sister's massive hit, We're Not Gonna Take It, as a call to action for music industry workers to receive fair compensation. That was a few years back. In 2020, what is the one thing that the U.S. needs to come together on and say, enough is enough, we're not going to take it?
Getting this president out of office. I mean, at all costs. And, people say, well, I'm not really happy with my choices. If this is just for your concern, people. If it can fog a mirror, vote for it. Okay? If it can fog, you know what that means? If it shows signs of life when they put a mirror under its nose, it steams the mirror up. That's better than what we've got going on right now. It's official. This guy is not a patriot. He's a commie sympathizer. He's anti-American. He's got his head buried so far up Putin's butt, so far up North Korea's ass, China. These are countries my dad fought in the Korean War. He fought Russia, China, and North Korea. 170,000 soldiers died. These 3 countries have not changed their stripe, and our president kisses the asses of all 3 of them. So that is not a patriot. That is a communist sympathizer. Okay, so this guy has got to go. Got to go.
Well,
if it breathes, it's my next president.
Can you name one musician that you would think would actually make an amazing president?
I can't name this. I said this when Trump was first running because I was friends with Trump. From the shows we socialized and his family, and they were lovely to socialize with. We did charity events together. We raised money for children's charities. We raised, an ice skating rink in Central Park. We raised money for that. So, but we never talked about politics. We never talked about religion. We never talked about sports because those are 3 taboos for any social event, But when, when they said Trump's running, I said, listen, I don't have a friend who would want to be president of the United States. Not one. I can't think of a person I know who would say, hey, he'd be a good president. No, they're all idiots, including me. Say, Dee, you should run. No, I shouldn't be president either. I should be somebody really smart, really astute, and really who's got a real finger on the pulse. It should be probably a cyborg. It should probably be a computer. Should be running the country, making the intelligent decisions. But no, I can't think of a musician worthy.
Elon, get on that. We need a cyborg. So I know your father, in addition to being in the military, was a police officer, and defund the police, definitely a hot button issue. Where do you stand on this, and how is that opinion molded by watching what your father went through on the job?
You know what? Defund the police is a misappropriation of words. It's misrepresented. It's a horribly poor choice to reorganize the police force is what really is it's saying, and send social workers out for domestic violence cases, not policemen who that's really not their bag baby. Okay, my dad was a state trooper for 27 years. He worked in the courts as a peace officer, a court clerk for another 17 years. And I talked to my dad, and I said, Dad, did you ever take out your gun? Did you ever shoot anybody? He goes, I never drew my weapon, and I never shot anybody. I said, but weren't you in situations where, you were in harm's way? He goes, yeah, I remember breaking up knife fights and, being in situations. I said, what do you do? He said, well, first of all, you have the baton. He goes, and that's a powerful tool. So secondly, the worst most I would do if I went past there is I'd lift up the flap on my holster and put my hand in the vicinity of my gun, and they would immediately stop. Just suggest that I might take this gun out if you don't stop. I never had to pull my gun out. State trooper, 27 years.
That's amazing.
One thing I know, there's a lot of really great, the majority are great men and women who want to do good things for the community, became police to help people, not hurt people. But there is a small percentage, even 1%, when you're dealing with tens of thousands of police, that's thousands of bad cops. And they cause a lot of problems. And my father's known that for years. They've always existed, the bad cops. It's always been a problem for the good cops. But most cops are good.
Speaking of guns, you shared that the one thing you miss since COVID is your gun. We knew you're a Second Amendment supporter and a concealed carrier. This is just a random question, but when was the last time, you said your dad never had to use his, when was the last time you had to pull out your gun on somebody and why?
Never.
Not one time.
No. You don't have the gun to just rip it out willy-nilly. As I said on that post, I said, we need intelligent gun control. And I said, come on, gun advocates. We all know. We've all met them. There are people that shouldn't have guns. And I said, and it is a slippery slope with the Second Amendment. Because just like I fought for the First Amendment, you don't want to let that crack because they will use it as a toehold. They use that little label. Warning parental advisory was used to keep records out of certain stores. Okay, so that was, we gave them, we just want a little sticker. Yeah, but it was misused. And I get the concern with Second Amendment. If you give a little bit, they'll take a lot. But unfortunately, it's just too powerful. These weapons are too powerful to have in certain people's hands. And we need intelligent gun control. But I've never had to take the gun out, and you shouldn't have to.
I saw you on Broadway when you starred in Rocktopia, New York City. We all know you played Dennis on Rock of Ages. There's also the Dee Does Broadway album. In Rocktopia, though, the greatest classical songs and the greatest rock songs are brought together. What's something from your early years in the music industry that you think the music industry in 2020 can use way more of?
It's the olden days, yeah. Well, for starters, 18-year-old drinking age, so that the clubs can thrive and a more rock, enthusiastic, younger rock crowd. The crowd that embraces heavy metal and embraces hard rock and embraces live concerts in a big way where they can have more access and young bands have people to play to. When Twisted was started out, people say, how'd you get to be such a good front man? Well, I did hundreds and hundreds, thousands of shows in clubs performing for drunk people, and you learn how to be a front man, but you only get that by doing it. And bands just don't have, because the drinking age went to 21. Those outlets closed up. The club scene and stuff like that. There really isn't the outlets that I had to learn your craft and perfect your abilities.
Now more than ever. So let's talk about For the Love of Metal Live. It features footage from 9 concerts done around the world and cut from country to country. You said to show we all love metal. What else can you tell us about For the Love of Metal Live?
Well, yeah, it's a very unique way. First of all, most shows are done one night, one place.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everything I've done has been like that, live at Hammersmith, live at Wacken, This is 9 shows, so it goes country to country, day to night, rain to sun, in one line of the song. And what I'm taking with is the unity of the community, the metal community around the world. As diverse and different as we are so strongly connected by our passion and our love of this music form. So you'll see in a song, it go from South America, brown-skinned people, to go to Scandinavia, Sweden, very fair-skinned, but they're wearing the same uniform, they're singing the same words, they're throwing the same horns, they're sharing the same musical experience. not simultaneously. And this is what connects us all. And I was just saying this on social media as well. People need to travel. If everybody had the opportunity to travel and actually see the people that we are so foreign to us and different from us, and walk amongst them, and and just understand them a little better, it'd be a lot less racism in this world. It's the fear of the unknown that feeds that machine. And For Love of Metal is not about fighting racism by any means, but that's the whole message about For the Love of Metal in general, and that's been from day one. It's a shared love by a massive body of people all over the world.
That sounds like a hell of a project to edit. Of course, you didn't edit it yourself, but what was the most fun part of piecing this together for you?
First of all, it was done by Justin Ho, a great young editor who lives in Florida.
Oh,
he a great editor. My son is a director, and he recommended him. And I've worked with him before. And it's a hell of a thing to piece through. But I had the idea for it, but seeing it work, on paper, it was like, this seems kind of crazy, but this could be cool. But seeing it jump around like that, and again, basically having a vision for it, and then seeing it execute, this is what I felt it was. This is this tremendous shared experience, shared love, and it really does communicate that. So just seeing it brought to life was great.
What's the future hold for you? Do you have any more acting projects? Are you making any new music? What do you have going on?
Look, my managers think I am Nostradamus right now, and don't tell them that I'm not. But last September, I told them I would not be doing any live shows in 2020. I did not because I foresaw COVID. I just was taking the year off. They think I had a vision. And they also said, well, what were you going to do for 2020? I said, let's release a live album, which turned out to be a pretty prophetic thing to release at a time like this. It's a good time for a live album. I said, I want to focus on my writing. And for the last several months, all I've done is sat and write. I've written my first fictional novel, which is being shot right now. I've been working. I'm going to be directing. I was supposed to be directing my first feature film called My Enemy's Enemy in May. It's been pushed back till next year. And then I've been offered a second movie to write that I'm working on writing, a reboot, a reimagining of a classic 80s film. Can't tell you which horror film. Can't tell you which one, but I'm going to be directing that one as well. And then I started on my second book. So expect some books from me, and you can expect, next year I'm going to be directing 2 movies, and then those will probably be coming out the year after that. So my next big foray is film directing.
Can you tell us anything about the fictional novel that's already complete?
Yeah, this one is going to be a surprise to people because it's called Frats, Frats, short for fraternities. It's nothing to do with rock and roll, nothing to do with horror. It's a fictionalized account of true events where I grew up in the early 70s. It's a coming-of-age story, period piece, of a very unique gang situation that existed where I grew up. And I thought it was like this all over the world, and it wasn't until I started traveling when I would tell people about it, and they would go, what? That was allowed in your school? That went on? And so it was very odd. No, I was not in one of the gangs. I was one of the nerds trying not to get my ass kicked. I was just a big nerd, like, oh, damn, I better watch out for those guys, So, but it was a very interesting story, and as an observer, I think it'll make. I'm very happy with the novel came out, and I think ultimately it'll make a great movie as well. But first thing, I got to get it published.
All right, sounds good. You'll work on that. We have the psychic Dee Snider with us. You're like the one musician who lucked up, man. Everybody got screwed this year except you. I guess you're just lucky like that. For the Love of Metal Live, available everywhere, July 31st. Thank you so much for your time. We very much appreciate it.
And thank you for the question and the scene.
Bye.